Hi everyone, it's Albie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be going over some perfect romance reads to get ready for the summer. These are just a little 5 compilation or rec video compilation or recs for romances that either have summery vibes or are set during the summer months. So the first one I'll be going over at this point to me is iconic. It's It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. It is a summery romance. It's set more like up north, like I think Washington State, Oregon, so it's not necessarily like the beach vibes per se, but still just a really fun story. So the heroine is Piper Bellinger. When I first read it, I think she's modeled after or inspired by Alexis from Schitt's Creek and the guy with the beanie. I don't remember the name. I've only seen a couple episodes, but I think this started off almost like a fan fiction idea, maybe, I don't know. But in my head it read more like the 2000s like glamour girls like Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton, where they're kind of like the poor little rich girls sort of stereotype, which I thought was really fun. So it has like Piper Bellinger having like some chaos ensuing at the very beginning with her being sort of a celebrity because she's very wealthy and from a wealthy family, and her having to go to this small coastal town because her father had like land and property on this place, and so she and her sister go to this small town, and it's just really cute. It's fun to have that quote-unquote fish out of water story. So Piper goes with her sister, and it's just complete small town, like barely even have like a McDonald's sort of small town. They have to go and live in sort of the garret or like apartment above the restaurant, and it's just a hot mess. And she meets a grumpy fisherman who is, I have to look up his name because I always call him Brendan Taggart. He is the quintessential grumpy hero. Piper is like the bubbly golden retriever. He's the black cat. She's the Labrador. It's just a really fun story. It was enemies to lovers, which is so, I think, misused really. I feel like if it's really enemies to lovers, that really should almost be exclusively used for like mafia romances or very dark romances. But it's more so the grumpy sunshine trope for sure. It was just really a fun read, and it's just perfect for the summery months. I feel like you could read this anytime. When I read it, it was like November, almost going into like the Christmas season, but I really wanted to read it. So you can read it anytime, but I think it's a perfect read for the warm summery months. So that it's Happened One Autumn by Tessa Bailey, and the sequel, Hook, Line, and Sinker, is one of my favorites of all time. So I love that one as well. All right, this is another one. This is, obviously, it's a rec video. This is a historical romance that I will say, I think all these videos I will have a full YouTube video review of. So if there's one you're interested in, if you read it, just search my name and the book, and I should come right up. But this is one I have as well. It's Secrets of a Summer's Night by Lisa Kleypas. This is book 1, kind of more so book 2 of the Wildflower series. A quick digestion, a quick explanation is again, the magic really is a prequel to the series, and I think it's a wonderful book. So honestly, just read it first anyway because it's really good. But it does sort of set up some stuff for Secrets of a Summer Night. I will say I have the republished edition, which has the heroine with the blonde flowing hair on the cover, and it is a little bit messed up because it was edited, and there's like a prequel or not a prequel, a forward or beginning chapters that are taken out, and it really changes the whole energy of the story and makes it really, it doesn't move the story well. I think it was a error of the editor to do that. I don't know if Miss Kleypas did that with the editor, but I just kind of like, it messes up the story, because when I found out what was removed, it was like, well, that changes the whole beginning of the book. It wasn't like some other stuff that's been changed. But so I would say if you're going to read the newer edition, which is the one I read first, which is like the new cover with the blonde flowing hair on the cover, you may want to look for the older edition, which is blue. You don't have to have the step back, I don't believe, to have the original text. So if it's not one with the step back, it should still have the beginning chapters original, which helps the story. But anyway, the heroine and hero have an argument, and that's cut out, so you may want to try to find on eBay or whatever the older copy. But sorry, that was a long explanation. So we have a really fun story. We have the beginning of the Wildflowers. We have Lillian, Evie, Daisy, and Annabelle. Annabelle's the lead. So this is Annabelle's story, and she is a heroine who is really desperate for a man, a suitor. So she is about to be in financial ruin. Her mother He's in a really horrible situation with a really dastardly man. Is it Mr. I think it's Mr. Hodgem is the bad guy. But essentially her mom is being like kind of like pimped out by this like banker guy for money, and he's gonna like expose her. It's a whole lot of messes, a lot of villainy. Is that a word, villainy? I don't know, I make up words all the time. But you know, there's actually a real villain in the story, and it's not the hero being just a jerk. It's actually like a real not nice guy. And so the heroine is like, I gotta get a husband, I gotta get out of this situation, I gotta help get my mother out of this situation, help get money. She has a younger brother, so she is a wildflower and she's desperate. And people know that she's a little bit desperate for money, so they're like, don't mess with her. She doesn't have a dowry, so she's not gonna bring anything toward the family, and she might take away more of your money in marrying her. So she has a lot of problems. So this has some tropes of enemies to lovers, but you know, quote unquote. Hero falls first, marriage of convenience, compromised heroine, which is one of my favorite tropes, working class hero, and I said kind of wildflower because Lillian, she's not like a wildflower in like the original sense. She's more so like an outcast or a pariah of the ball rather than like a wallflower. Because before they fell from grace, she was more accepted and popular, so that's why I kind of said that. But Simon Hunt is the hero. Like I said, he falls first. He and the heroine have kind of a rough history, even if you get the copy that shows the rough history. And it was a fun story. It wasn't my favorite by Miss Kleypas. I gave it like a 4 out of 5. I have a whole review on it, as I said, but just the summer vibes, the ballroom, the marriage of convenience trope of I need to get out of situations, a hero that is in a sense heroic and does stand up for the heroine and gets her out of a situation. The mother's helped as well. So really fun story. Just wasn't my favorite, but if I read the original, I think it would be a 5. So I will say that. Try to look for the original if you can. But really charming story, great historical, and great for the beginning of the series. All right, I have another historical romance. This one is also the first in the series. This one was also, I think I gave it a 5-star. It was good. It is, I gave it 5 stars. I have the review right here, my written review. So this is The Heiress Hunt by Joanna Shoup. This is a Gilded Age historical romance. So the late 1890s, early 1900s, like think of the HBO Max show, The Gilded Age. There's your timeline. And this is fun because the heroine, the setting is American. So this isn't in England. This is in the New York echelon, so like the 400s, so Mrs. Astor, all that. So our heroine is sort of a sporty spice. We have our heroine Archer, who has returned from Paris and discovered that his deceased father has bankrupted the family, and so he needs a wife with money to sort of restart the family's life because they're just going to go down the drain. So he's looking for a bride. That's why it's sort of called the heiress hunt, because he's the heir to the family. He's the heir to the family's fortune, but it's a bankrupt fortune. So he's on the marriage hunt, and he asks his childhood friend Madeline, or Maddie, for help. Like I said, she's a sporty spice. She plays tennis. Does not give Challenger vibes at all, but there is a lot of fun. Just thinking of like that time period of like sports and women in sports, I thought was really a fun experience to have as a historical novel, as a historical romance reader. But yeah, it was a fun story. This one does have a little bit of revenge and just like angst and problems. So I'm not doing the best on my reviews today. I haven't felt well, but either way, we're getting through it. This was a spicier book. I find that Joanna Shoup, for me personally, is the spiciest of traditionally marketed historical romances. So I mean, like, I think her name's Nicola Davidson. She's more so like an erotic historical romance author. Joanna Shoup is more so historical romance author, but her spice is like, which I find really fun. I think it's fun to have the restrictive society with the high lustful energy of the characters hidden away. I think that's an interesting storyline. So I love Joanna Shoup. She's one of my favorite authors. This series as a whole, which is I can't remember what the series is called. The Fifth Avenue Rebels. I have loved this series so much. I still have the 4th one to read, The Duke Gets Even. I've been savoring the series. Book 1 is a 5-star read, and it was my least favorite, which should tell you something, because it was a really great book. But book 2, Lily Gets Lucky, oh my gosh, it's just so amazing. And book 3, I didn't think I could like The Lady Gets Lucky anymore until I read The Bride Goes Rogue, because that was even better. If you're a reader who loves like the Lisa Kleypas, where it's high energy, almost like operatic in scale, with a lot of angst and just emotions and spice and passion, you really should try Joanna Shupe. And I would start with this series mostly because this one I've read. I haven't read the other ones yet, but just overall a fantastic series. So if you're like a Lisa Kleypas lover and you're like, you've read everything by her and you haven't read Joanna Shupe, I really think Joanna Shupe is going to be an author you really devour. And I'd start with the Fifth Avenue Rebels, which is book one, is The Heiress Hunt, which is this one. So they all are set around the same time, which is the summertime in New York. They're like Long Island and Newport, and just really a fun story. It's like it's not a ball scene, it's more so like the sleepaway camp for adults to make matches, like to fall in love and stuff. So really just an interesting story. All right, and my last two are modern. So I have The Pool Boy by Nikki Sloan. This is one of my favorite spicy books of all time. It is a reverse age gap romance. So we have Erica, she is 42, and our hero is 24. He is her pool boy. She is going through a horrible breakup with her ex-husband, and she has money, she has time, and she has now a pool boy. And just really fun spice. It was taboo in the sense where it's the age gap, but it's 24, 42, you know, legal. And it's her best friend's son, so, you know, problems. Thanksgiving might be a little difficult, but just real fun story. So this is technically a series. Like, it does have interlocking characters interacting in different books, but not in the sense of like Bridgerton or something where it's like it makes more sense to read them in order. I don't think you have to read them in order, because I read this one and I've read The Doctor. I think there's only two I've read, and I did like them both. I like this one a lot more than The Doctor. But we have a strong, confident heroine. We have a young man that just like worships the ground she walks on, and just fun. I mean, it doesn't get more summer spicy romance than The Pool Boy. I mean, just a great book. I have a full review on this as well. It's one of my first reviews. I think I'm probably wearing this night shirt in it, but just a lovely read. And the final book I'll have for this rec video is Silver Fox by Kayla Gross. I just posted my review for this book Tuesday, so you can watch that if you want, or you can check out this video first, however you want to do it. So we have our heroine Alex. She's on a like beach cabin by the sea getaway, and little does she know that the getaway was also offered to her dad's co-worker. And so she's there scrubbing some dishes in her bikini and apron, and the hero walks in and says, am I in the right place? And she's like, who are you? So, you know, it has a lot of meet cute. It is spicy. I feel it's like meant to be titillating and stimulating and all of that, but it was fun. It had some heart and it had a lot of spice, but the spice was earned and worth it. And yeah, so if you're looking for a spicy novella, definitely check out Silver Fox by Kayla Gross. And The Pool Boy is pretty short. I think the longest out of these are probably the historicals, and it's probably the Joanna Shupe, and it's worth it. It's really fun. You have to remember that just because historicals are longer, they're also smaller. So like, they're not a traditional paperback. So if they were made like the traditional size, they'd probably be like 75 pages shorter. So don't let the length of a historical be a deterrent, because you're technically reading less on page in a way. Well, everyone, those were my recs for some early summer reads. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye, everyone.